Hi, my name is Rich Lupo, and I am the service director at Appletree Acura and Honda in the Asheville, North Carolina market in Western North Carolina. I'd like to welcome you today. Through the course of the day, we're going to meet a great team of associates, panels ranging from technicians, service advisors, highlighting some of the great staff here, as well as our partnership, and a lot of gratitude to the folks at BG who are helping sponsor this today. And can't wait to introduce you to Western North Carolina, Appletree, Honda, and Acura, and our great team of associates.
It's better than HD, it's live. We're thrilled to welcome you to the Fixed Ops Roundtable pop-up featuring Sarah Vantine and Ted Ings. This event is brought to you by BG Products, partners beyond products. Now for your hosts, Ted Ings and Sarah Vantine.
Welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Ings. We are in Asheville, North Carolina at Appletree, Honda, and Acura. And today we're going to be talking about the legacy of this organization, Ted.
Sarah, what a great opportunity to highlight the wonderful dealers in our industry all around the country. We're here today with the leaders of Appletree, Honda, and Acura. Gentlemen, if you would, please introduce yourselves and tell us what you do here at the dealerships.
So I'm Craft and Lock. I'm one of the co-owners here with my partner, Kilby.
I'm Kelby Locke. I'm one of the co-owners, and I do a lot of the internet directory and all the stuff that has to do with our websites and stuff like that.
So you gentlemen are brothers, is that right?
That's correct. Yeah, family-owned business, and we've been in the business for 50 years now.
So tell us a little bit about those 50 years, maybe how it got its start. You're, certainly 50 years as a Honda retailer. I've seen that. Give us a little bit of backstory on that.
Yeah, so it started with our father. He worked his way up the car business from sales to management, eventually, GSM, GM. Then Honda came to be in the United States. They had an opportunity to sell the Chevy store. Then we built the Honda store here in 1983, and he became a co-partner at that time, eventually became full owner. Then my two brothers and I eventually took it over, and now it's the two of us that own the dealership. So a lot of history, and actually one of the few dealerships in the United States at 50 years with
Honda. Yeah.
So we're proud of that.
Very proud of it. So,
And you've got the dealerships really adjacent to each other. They're close by, which we don't see typically with Honda and Acura.
That's one of the advantages of being early on in the game.
Yeah.
Is we got to have the Acura store right here with the Honda store. So I think we're one of just a few in the United States that have that. So.
But it's really nicely, just like you're talking about, we can walk between the Honda and the Acura store, kind of show the different products to each other, and upgrading to an Acura or looking at a Honda, what makes sense for our consumer base, and they're all walking distance, which is really nice. So,
Well, gentlemen, being from the Carolinas myself, sometimes when we talk to people across our industry, there's the perception that they think of the Carolinas as all these little small towns, lots of forests. But tell me, when you think about being here in Asheville, Asheville is such a unique and different place in this state and in this region. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I mean, Asheville's definitely a different city that versus the rest of North Carolina. For us, I love being in Asheville. It's we have one of the water towers says keep Asheville weird, and if that doesn't describe Asheville, it's the truth. And in Asheville, I mean, they started off with, it's been a very touristy spot for a very long time, from the late 1800s. With the Vanderbilts and the railroad coming in and stuff like that, and a lot of people moving in the area for the fresh mountain air and mountain homes and stuff like that. It's not just Asheville for us, it's some of the small towns in Hendersonville that we love in West North Carolina that kind of brings that culture and what we like in the area, and we're just lucky to be in a good space. So,
yeah, like you mentioned, I mean, Asheville's very about the environment, getting outdoors. And so we try to do as much of that as possible too, as well. So that's one of the things I think we have an advantage here is we have the beautiful natural scenery. True. Plus we have, the small town feel and, larger cities as well. So
outdoors, breweries.
The brewery scene is huge. So it is a neat place to be for sure.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, it's a beautiful part of the country, and especially this time of year. Yeah. And Sarah and I have had a little bit of an opportunity to see some of the things you're mentioning. From what I understand, originally downtown was where the dealership was located at one point?
It was a little east of downtown. I mean, back where it was originally, when it was down there, I mean, now it would be considered downtown, but it's just a little east of it. But yeah, it would be downtown per se. Yes.
Apple Tree Chevrolet was off Smoky Park Highway,
which is
so. And then again, we built the new Honda store here in 1983. So a long time at this location as well.
Exactly.
So what spurred the move from the downtown area? What brought you out of this church?
It was time to kind of build a new store, and our father was talking to different people at Honda about where to do it, and everybody had their analysis of where the best place to kind of put the store was, and it was that downtown, Asheville look for it, and for us, our father said, hey, look, we want to find something. We've got two different areas. You got Asheville, you got Hendersonville, and he wanted to service both of those equally because each one brings their own unique thing to the town. And so he found a place that we had the airport out here, and he wanted to kind of be right there in between both, which has actually been amazing for us because we get to service both areas without being too far from both.
Yeah, and that's where the name Apple Tree came from, as well as the all the apple orchards in the Hendersonville area.
Yep.
So that's the name. Apple Tree was originally Apple Tree Chevrolet, and then Apple Tree Honda when Honda became the franchise. So that's it wasn't a franchise till the early '80s. So we were one of the first.
And what a beautiful area, especially seeing this morning when the sun came up. Did the move here impact your ability to serve the community to coming to this particular area?
I think it kind of opened, it did create a little bit of a drive for some of your Asheville clientele coming down this way, but it also opened doors for us to serve another part of the community within Hendersonville. So I think yes and no, it definitely created some of its own issues, but it helped us grow in an area that was still, as much as Asheville has seen growth in even the last decade, the place where we're located has allowed us to become what we are as a store, which is great. And just the foresight of looking for this place to be where we couldn't do that if we were downtown.
Sure. And I think we have a nice local central location with, right here at the Asheville Airport, and again, we're on the line between Buncombe and Henderson County. So, right between Asheville and Hendersonville.
Well, it's incredible to see the legacy that, generations have built in building this dealership and building both of these stores in this location. So as automotive continues to expand, there's a lot of competition in the marketplace. So have you found it difficult at any point to differentiate yourselves locally, in the past, either when the stores were first getting started compared to today?
I think, you got to look at, and just talking about the Asheville area, you've got a lot of these bigger conglomerates coming in and buying a lot of the stores around here. A lot of the, mom and pops stores are becoming a thing of the past because of things like that. So they have a lot of backing behind that, but they also don't have what we have as somebody that is in the store every day, and we can kind of keep our fingers on the pulse of what our stores are doing, what our employees are doing, what we're looking for. And so there's, for us, it's a little difficult to kind of set yourself apart, but at the same time, we try to strive to do that every day. If we're not looking for different opportunities for us to get better and what we can do to, serve our customers better, then that's what we try to do every day. Then I think that's what sets us apart as a family-owned store versus some of the bigger guys.
Exactly.
So,
I agree. I think, a big difference is we are locally owned and operated. And both of us are in here every day and we're dealing with customers every day. So that's not something that you get at a different store. Some of these places have 50 stores and they may live in a different state than the one that you're in. So that is, something I think sets us apart, that we are that locally owned and operated business. And again, I think we have a great store, a great product to sell. So
great employees, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We couldn't be who we are without the people that work for us.
Yeah.
And you can feel that family atmosphere here at the dealerships. And that also speaks to the culture. And we're going to be meeting with your people here today. And I have to tell you, you're so right. That family enterprise that you've got here. When Sarah arrived and I at the dealership, I got here yesterday. And Crafton, you were here on the showroom floor. And I didn't know you were the owner of the dealership, okay? And you were just like everybody else, sleeves rolled up and getting involved and working with customers.
Sure, exactly. And that's the way it should be. I mean, again, and I've talked to that about my managers as well. It's like, I don't ask anything out of any of my employees that I'm not willing to do myself. So, I think each of our managers should be willing to do that too. If they expect them to do something with a customer, go do it yourself. I mean, that's the way to show somebody to do something the right way. And again, it makes a difference to the customer as well. So you need to be willing to do practice what you preach, essentially.
Yeah, and just like you talk, we have definitely a family culture here. We've got people that have been with us since we were the Chevrolet store years back. And I think that's something that's different from us than a lot of other stores, is to talk about some of the people that we've had here for a long time that is a part of our family. And so we, like I said, we're lucky, and we wouldn't be where we are without the great employees that we've had with us through this time. So.
Well, super. We're going to be meeting with your people today and speaking to them and finding out what makes your group unique. But first, if I can, Sarah and I are traveling around the country, and we're meeting with the best dealers in the nation, and we're presenting them with the Fixed Ops Roundtable Certified Dealer Award. So on behalf of the Fixed Ops Roundtable, we'd like to present you with that right now. Richard Lupo, your service director, is coming in with the award. And Richard, if you would, please present that. Wonderful.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations to both of you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you, Sarah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to a great event here today. We are at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. We are at Apple Tree Honda and Acura. We're in beautiful Asheville, North Carolina. Please stay with us. We're going to meet the people of this organization coming right up.
No.
7,766
Good morning.
customer pay. Hi, good morning.
Hey.
Hi,
Rich.
Sarah.
Great to see you.
You too.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi,
Good to see
Wes.
you as
Awesome
well.
to see you this morning.
Thanks.
How's the Odyssey?
Oh, it's great. You know, I just drove it in, and I couldn't help but notice when I was pulling around with your service team, when your advisor was checking in my car, I noticed that y'all had some process in place that I'd never seen before. And it looked like y'all were doing something where you were documenting some of the damage that was on my vehicle. Of course, I'm a mom and things happen. But can you tell me a little bit about what I saw today?
Sure. No apologies for being a busy mom, though. So, yeah, actually, Wes from Reynolds, we were just talking about this, and when you pull in, our service consultants do a walk around of your vehicle, and part of that process is documenting any damage that's on the vehicle. And we were just going over this repair order here. You can see one of our service consultants had noted damage on the right side of this vehicle as well as some other places. We've been able to recall this document through Reynolds tool called IDM, Integrated Document Management. And so this was done, when was this done?
The third,
days ago.
a few days
Yeah.
ago, sure.
A few days ago. And this customer had a concern about damage. So we were able to pull this document up digitally from a scanning process and show that when the car was brought into our service drive, that damage was documented.
And you bring up some very good points. We're able to, the old CYA factor, right? We all know sometimes customers maybe miss things that were on their vehicle the last time. But as Rich said, we've documented that. The nice thing is we can save time, paper, storage costs, those types of things at the end of the process by just taking a stack of the repair orders, putting a simple barcode scan sheet on it, putting it in a scanner. Everything scans all at once, front and back page, up to 80 pages a minute.
Wow.
And now they're taking advantage of getting rid of paper.
Rich, I can imagine, I think about my car, and sometimes I don't go on the passenger side, or I don't notice that ding or
Exactly.
see that scuff that happened.
A busy mom?
Oh, yes, right? Well, I imagine this has to be a big cost savings for the dealership, too. Could you tell me a little bit about what you're seeing when it comes to these digital repair orders?
Well, it hits a couple of key areas. First and foremost, it's digitally stored, so dealerships traditionally have a big, huge file room with 3 years worth of repair orders and files, and
Or even more in some instances.
depending on state laws, it could be up to
Exactly.
7 years. So there's a massive bit of storage that's not necessary anymore. And once those things are off-site, they have to be stored in secure, hurricane-proof, waterproof, fireproof storage facilities. It's not inexpensive. So this eliminates the need for that. It is a very streamlined process. You can see it only takes up about this much of a footprint, so it doesn't require a huge amount of space. One PC, one scanner, and we're a pretty busy store. And the lady that we have taking care of this for us is a part-time, spends her time as a receptionist for us, and then part-time scanning. So we're able to keep a very busy dealership fully scanned with one person part-time. So it's very cost-effective in those ways.
Well, Wes, and I'm sure you get this question quite a bit because dealerships are busy operations and there's a lot going on. So
Absolutely.
How easy is it to really use the system?
I mean, it's super easy. If I were one of Rich's service advisors, I'd simply be doing my regular job. Customer comes in, they drop their car, and they're like, hey, Wes, I'm getting ready to sell my car. I need some documentation that I've actually had it serviced here on a regular basis. So it's super easy. Advisor can go in, recall the customer by name, number, lots of different ways, and then they can simply go into all the service history related to that vehicle for that customer. They can recall it, they can email it, they can print it. The whole idea here is to eliminate paper, keep it digitally, keep it secure, and just be able to help with the customer experience and help the dealer with eliminating costs.
And this can be used by more than just the service department, right?
Yes, it's very helpful. Our service advisors are able, like if a customer comes in and has a WIO, we're able to pull up the WIO and without going to a file room, calling our F&I department, anything like that. We can call up a WIO, we can call up the previous repair orders, the inspection, the multi-point inspections. If they purchased, one of the common things is if they purchase a battery over the counter, from our parts department, and then they need that we can recall parts invoices from them. It's huge time savings versus sending one of our staff to a file room to go retrieve a hard copy, and we'll see them in about 3 days. So it brings a lot of efficiency and productivity to what I can speak to most, our service department, but I know it helps, greatly in F&I, accounting, things like that too as well.
Well, Rich, I know that a lot of things in the dealership are going to a digital format, but sometimes, it can be difficult to convince everybody to come on board with that. Would you ever consider going back to a more manual way of doing this?
It is a dramatic difference in the operations. First through efficiency,
Absolutely.
being able to pull this stuff up on demand, and then, this is in lieu of a massive filing room. So if you combine all those things, it really doesn't make any sense to do anything else at this point.
Well, Rich, Wes, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with my car today. Thank you so much for
Absolutely.
taking the time to chat with me a little bit more about it.
Well, we'll take good care of you today. Thanks.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here at Apple Tree Honda and Acura. I've got Rich Lupo here with this incredible service team. Today we're going to be talking a little bit more about mentoring technicians and the technician pathways in automotive. Richard, first I'd love to ask you this question. So you've been with the Apple Tree organization for 49 years?
Well, I haven't been with Apple Tree. I've been with Apple Tree for 17 years.
17 years.
Okay, in total, my tenure with Honda is 49 years.
Wow, so you've been with Honda for 49 years.
Yes.
I'm sure you've seen a lot of changes over the course of that time. So how is it different from when you first got started in the industry compared to what your technicians are learning today?
Oh, nowhere to start. I mean, the technology has changed immensely. The way that we dispatch work, how technicians keep track of work, and that has all changed. When I started, basically everything was paper. You went to a dispatch office, they gave you a repair order, went on and found the car and went to work with it. Everything was handwritten. So that has changed now. We're going with computer. So eliminate a lot of paper, a lot of that. So.
Well, Rich, and you've got an incredible team assembled here. So, gentlemen, I'd love for you to introduce yourselves to our Fixed Ops community. Michael, I'll start with you. Could you share a little bit about who you are and what you do with Apple Tree?
My name is Michael Kimsey. I'm a master tech. I essentially do everything from advanced diagnostics to major engine repairs, transmissions, whatever. Let's see. Yeah, I've been with Honda for 12 years.
So you've been part of the Apple Tree family.
I've been with Apple for 12.
He's selling himself short. He's a fantastic technician. So give yourself some credit.
Thank you. Well, Richard, please introduce yourself to
Yeah, my name is Richard Spring. I'm actually the shop foreman here. Like I say, my tenure is 49 years. I've been with Apple Tree for 17. I try to keep basically the shop in order. Try to keep everybody happy and cars moving in and out. Some of my jobs, I do tenure. A lot of our trainees, a lot of people coming in. I actually tenured Michael when he first started, and I'm working with Shayla now as she's coming in. So I am doing that. I did do some teaching at nighttime. And actually, that's where Mike came in. He was in one of my classes, and I basically recruited him and convinced him that it was time to go to work and do it that way. So I stay busy. I kind of track cars, make sure cars come in and out correctly, and try to keep the shop running smoothly.
Excellent.
That's where I'm at.
And Bo?
I'm Bo Metcalf. I've been at Apple Tree for 25 years. I'm a Honda Master Tech, Acura Master Tech. I just pretty much anything that comes in the door I can work on, even the classic cars. And I get a lot of classic cars.
She do.
But pretty much anything that comes in the door I can work on, natural gas, everything. So.
And Mike?
Been with Apple Tree for 9 years. Like Richard was saying, I started taking some classes, going that classes, and then he was just like, you can start at an Express. It was a job opportunity, so I took it. Worked in Express for almost 2 years, and then moved to the line, and then just kept growing. Been going to school to become a Master Tech. Got a few more classes to go, and then we'll be done, but pretty much do everything as well. Yeah.
Well, Richard and Bo, I want to ask y'all this question because y'all have been with the organization, the longest of the gentlemen on this panel today. So I'm sure there's been different points in your career where you've had somebody that's mentored you and that brought you along as you were considering automotive and considering being a technician. Bo, I'll start with you. What has been your experience with having a mentor, and how do you pay that forward to people like Michael and Mike?
I mean, cars, it can be very tough. So when you have a mentor, sometimes you second guess yourself. You really don't. You don't want to just jump right in and do the wrong thing. So when you have a mentor, you got somebody to bounce ideas off of. When you've worked here long enough, you learn the product. A lot of things keep happening, so you can mention things to them. It's kind of like a safe haven. You feel comfortable with the mentor. So it's a really nice thing to have.
And Richard, how has having someone mentor you been instrumental to your career, and how do you pay it forward?
Well, I mean, actually a lot has changed in the years now present. When I first started, we really didn't have a lot of mentors. When I first started in the industry, you just kind of like struggled through it, got as much information as you possibly could, and kind of figured it out. You always had senior technicians that a lot of times, they would help you out, but obviously they couldn't spend a lot of time helping you out. So you kind of worked a lot of things out your way. Where nowadays, the industry has changed. I think that dealerships and manufacturers have realized that you really have to get somebody up on the head, somebody that can kind of oversee things and give the help. I mean, we do have tech line, which we can go to, but they're not present, so they don't see a lot of things that happen, and it does take a little time to get to them to get some help. So I think nowadays, I think there's the advancement for help and mentoring is a lot better than what it was when I first started in the business. So I think it's a good thing.
Saves a lot of time.
Yes.
A lot of time.
Well, and Mike, I'll ask you this question first and then go to Michael. So we've seen so many enhancements in the safety features and in the technology of vehicles, everything from brake assist on the Honda vehicles that impact a lot of the abilities for drivers to be in a vehicle that is a little bit safer. And so I'm sure that there's been elements that you're seeing that are influencing some of the decisions for technicians to get into the industry. As somebody that's, a technician now that's being exposed to and learning all of these different elements, what do you think is going to be most important for technicians going forward into the next 5 years or so?
Learn electrical, 100%. It's going to be dominating everything, like between just, fuel and emissions, like there won't be hardly any of that, moving forward from here on. Like it'll just be all electric motors, things like that. And like safety features, like they're just constantly adapting. Like it's going from, before it was just like your driver and passenger airbag, maybe, and then now it's like the side skirts, you got side in the seat, they explode. Like soon it's just going to be immense how many safety features there will be in the future.
Michael, what's your perception?
Basically, Mike covered it. I would say that electrical and actually knowing computers more than anything is more prevalent today than like the days of old of like tinkering in your grandfather's garage or something. That's not really a thing. I mean, we do very, very little like repair and more diagnostic. Like maintenance itself is greatly decreased while diagnosing concerns has become a bigger thing. I mean, we do more with computers than we do with like actually mechanical objects usually. And I would say that in general, you have to learn how to read an electrical diagram because there's just no way to go into the future.
Well, I want to ask a question to all of y'all as this has been a very important topic for automotive in general. We're talking a lot to a lot of different dealerships about retention of employees and looking ahead to the future and attracting talent and attracting individuals to consider a career in automotive. Rich, I'd love to start with you and then go down the line. But can you describe a little bit about how important it is for technicians to be part of the dealership operation and what pieces that you're working on to attract future talent?
So, thank you, sir. It is it's no secret to anyone that's in our industry that technicians are the backbone of what we do. We can advertise, we can drive cars in here, we can write repair orders, but if there's no one here to fix them or fix them properly, then there's no reason to open the doors. We have a huge investment every day in our technicians. Richard is a salaried shop foreman. There's a lot of places that don't afford that to our technicians. They'll have team leaders that must, that have production goals. He is free to mentor, move from person to person, problem car from problem car, to take care of and assist our technicians. Over time, that's just growth for our technicians as he comes in and helps and gives his perspective on how to diagnose a car and to get it fixed. It inevitably results in the growth of the technical abilities of our staff. So it's a huge advantage that our technicians have. It's a sizable investment that we make, and it's part of the culture of what we do to take care of our associates, our team members here at Apple Tree. I don't think we spare a lot of expense to take care of them. We send them to train. It's not inexpensive to send somebody to a city far away and put them up for a week and send them to a training center. The loss of productivity, all those things here in the shop. When they're out, we reimburse them 100% for their time. The training costs, it's rather expensive to mentor and bring somebody up from somebody who was taking classes at Blue Ridge Community College here locally and bring them to master technician level. But when you invest in your people, right now, I mean, we have, I don't want to thank you guys, it's a very busy place. And these guys have taken a few minutes out of their busy day to come up here and speak with us. But we have a whole army of technicians back there that are fixing cars. And our average tenure is over 15 years for our technicians. And that can only be attributed to the investment Appletree makes in our technical staff and just part of the culture of what we do. It does make us different.
Well, and gentlemen, just in closing thoughts, I'd love, Michael, I'll start with you. So for our listeners that may be considering a career as a technician, what advice would you tell our audience today?
Oh, I mean, if you want to tinker and fix stuff, I mean, that's the only thing you can say. I mean, it is a tough job because of being on a flat rate system. So everyone thinks they're going to come in and make 100 hours, but it's not going to happen. I mean, you have to be willing to invest in the knowledge and in the tools and everything in yourself to be able to continue in this, because your first 2 years is going to be brutal, and then 5 years in you start seeing return on investment.
Richard, what advice would you give for our audience today for people considering a technician future?
Well, I mean, it's actually a good future. I mean, it doesn't get old. I mean, there's always new things happening. So it's not something where once you've learned something and you're like, okay, I'm done, because everything changes every year. So, you have the opportunity to really advance yourself, continue to study and grow into the system. And for somebody that just wants that drive to learn new things constantly and to advance in technology, I mean, it's there, the opportunity's there. And it's just, you really got to be committed. I do agree in a lot of what Rich said, on being here, being a salary technician, it gives me the opportunity to address a lot of issues that do require a lot of time. A lot of dealers don't have that, so I'm thankful. I mean, it gives me the time to actually prepare. I spend a lot of time in research, when we do have problems. So, and I appreciate it,
Well, that's incredible, Richard. And thank you for putting all of your efforts into bringing up the future generations of technicians. Bo, what advice would you have for somebody that's watching this today that is considering getting into becoming a technician?
Learn a lot of patience. I mean, it's stressful, but it's worth it. I mean, you grow every day you're here, you have the potential to learn something. It's a good career. Yeah. And, especially like dealership life, I mean, you make a lot of good friends. It's nice. I mean, if you've done both, it's nice. I mean, there's a lot of guys, we do a lot of stuff together. So, but yeah, just patience. That's the biggest thing I can tell, because it can be stressful.
Well, Mike, final thoughts to add for our technician listeners out there?
I mean, they pretty much nailed it for the most part. I mean, it is cool, though, in an industry where it's not just like the same thing every day in a way, because it's just like I worked in a factory for a little while, and like you're assembling the same components every time, and that gets old after a while. And in mechanics, like, you do get to see things that they're random sometimes. It's just like, oh, I've never seen that before, so it is nice that it kind of changes it up, and you learn a little bit about everything. You got freon gases, and then you have, your electrical portion of it, of course, and you get a little bit of everything. So it is kind of nice.
Well, gentlemen, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on the Fixed Ops Roundtable today. For everyone listening, we're here at Appletree Honda and Acura in Asheville, North Carolina. I'm joined by Rich, Michael, Richard, Bo, and Mike as part of the technician panel on the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Stay tuned for more segments. We'll be right back.
The Clean Air Car Care campaign is BG's green initiative designed to promote the BG Platinum Fuel System service, which has been proven to reduce harmful emissions. Additional services featured in the campaign include the BG Platinum 44K service, which restores fuel economy, and the BG Climate Control service that will refresh the air inside your customers' vehicles. Advisors can match the service with the customer's biggest concern. Is it performance and fuel economy? Is it the environment and emissions? Or is it the air quality inside their vehicle? The services offered with the Clean Air Car Care campaign will provide your customers with clean air both inside and outside of their vehicles. Talk to your BG distributor about how to sell more services with BG Clean Air Car Care.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Ings. We're at Apple Tree Honda in Asheville, North Carolina. Ted, we have some special guests on our panel today.
We do. And you know, one of the unique things about the Fixed Ops Roundtable is that we feature the special relationship that BG products and their distributors have with their local retailers. So, gentlemen, if you would introduce yourselves and tell us what you do.
Good morning, Ted. Thank you. I'm Perry Lindsay. I work with Carolina BG. I work with them in a capacity of strategic development and overseeing our major accounts, much like Apple Tree Honda.
Rich Lupo, Service Director at Apple Tree Honda and Apple Tree Acura.
Well, so Perry, thank you so much for all you do for our industry, and we are greatly appreciative of BG. And I want to talk to you a little bit today about on the distributor level, some of the things that you do. First of all, how did you gentlemen get together, and tell us a little bit of the backstory on that?
Yeah, sure. Great question. So, Ted, Rich came to Asheville, Apple Tree Honda, a few years back. We have a great relationship here with the ownership, and Rich was new, was coming in the fixed ops role, and we had not had a relationship with Rich, so we wanted to plug in to make sure we're doing and what he demands of us. So a couple of years ago, reached out to him and set a meeting, and we've kind of propelled up to this point.
I came in a few years ago. We relocated to the Western North Carolina region here, south of Asheville, and came to work for Apple Tree, the Locke family, and there was a legacy relationship with BG. It goes back a long time, and we evaluated that when we got here, and honestly found that it was the best partnership that we could have, and so we continued on, and it's been a great relationship, Perry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Sarah, one of the things that we've heard a lot about is BG Products is your partner beyond products. So, gentlemen, tell us a little bit about that. If you would, Perry, give us a little bit of the information on some of the training and support that you provide here at the dealership level.
Yeah, sure. From our perspective, when we go into a dealership, our vision is to help the service drive culture. How do we plug in with the service advisors and the technicians as well? But in the service drive, for years, our perspective is how do we change their view when the customer comes in, and do we educate every customer the same way? Are we just taking orders, or are we changing the processing culture on how to get that advisor to open up and ask questions and educate the consumer based on what their needs are, and so they feel like it's been a rewarding experience to bring their car into a facility like Apple Tree?
And Rich?
We obviously have a very long relationship with Honda and Acura. 50 years recently, we received our 50-year award as a dealer, and BG works in concert with what we do with our Honda and Acura customers. The amount of support that Perry and his team provide for us is truly best that I've experienced in over 30 years doing this job in this business. When you need training, they're on the ball. They get here. They'll have after-hours training, before-time training. They'll pull a couple of service advisors off the service drive and feed them lunch and do it that way. However we want to do it, they serve our needs that way. Product delivery, we're never out of stock. We're never overstocked. All of those things, the rewards, all of those things, it's just 360 degrees. Ingrid, who is a great part of your staff, worked with us to develop a menu, all of those things. It's just a very comprehensive, very supportive relationship we have with BG, and I'm glad that we have the relationship that we do.
Thank you so much.
Well, Rich, it sounds like there's an incredible amount that BG does to help the service advisors. Could you tell us a little bit? So a lot of customers are coming into service drives today, and they're looking at their owner's manual and they're saying, well, here's the factory recommended maintenance, but people are owning their vehicles longer than ever. So how does BG help your advisors carry those conversations with your customers?
There's a couple of things, Sarah. We know that some of the additives, some of the products that they offer do extend the life of the vehicle. And we also know that when we present the products to our customers, along with the comprehensive package of not just the product, but what BG offers in extending the warranty of the vehicle. So if you have your power steering system serviced with BG products, they extend a warranty to you on all the components of that system. And so one of the selling points to our customers is, as people are keeping their cars and they're aging, they fall out of the factory warranty and many times out of the extended warranty that they purchased initially. And BG is there to help supplement that and give value to our customers. And I said it works in concert with what we do with our long-serving relationship with Honda and Acura.
Perry, that's a great point. I did hear recently that the average vehicle on the road today, 12 and a half years, the highest in history in terms of age of vehicles out there. I would imagine that plays right into your wheelhouse at BG and everything Richard's doing here as well.
Yeah, sure. If you look at, just look at post-COVID, the 21 and 22 year models have went away a little bit. The average year car coming in the service drive is in that 18 to 19 year model year with 60 plus thousand miles. They're in the most profitable years of ownership, but how does that customer understand the value of servicing that component, and how we can tie our lifetime protection plan into that consumer and really turn that into a positive and a retention tool as well for the dealer.
Yeah. 100%.
Yep. And Perry, I know dealers have several choices out there, but there really is only one choice with BG, because all of the testing, the lab work that's being done on BG's products that are out there in the field, the innovation that's taking place at headquarters, then goes out into the field, it's really second to none what you offer the dealers here.
Oh, most certainly. If you look around the market, you don't see our competition, if you will, doing the testing and the research that we do based on science. It's we want to prove our theories and then take our theories to the market so the client understands why we are better and how we can help continue that life of that automobile.
And the training, the support, the protection plan that BG offers, and also the things like the smart VMA, the menu tools, really enhance what the service advisor is able to offer out on the drive, because you give them all the tools and the training with which to present that.
Yeah, certainly. Good point on the menu, smart VMA. If you look at the automotive industry, as I view it anyway, for years, finance, F&I, has done a fantastic job of putting a menu process in place. But if you go to the service, the fix side of the business, what does that advisor have to use, and is it comprehensive? Is it based on VIN? Do we understand what the customer needs, what the vehicle needs? Now we have that tool in place with Smart VMA, so every customer gets the same education every visit.
And Richard, is that consistency important to you, in leading the service and parts and fixed operations here at the dealership level?
Absolutely. Anytime you can bring real consistency to a process, it benefits not only the customer, but the dealer as well. If we're not doing a consistent job, presenting things to the customer that need to be presented, that are timely and relevant to the service needs of their vehicle, then we're not doing them the service that we advertise ourselves to do. So at that point, the consistency of the presentation, the menu process, all of those things, it's something that our customers have come to expect from AppleTree because we've been involved with BG so long.
Well, Rich, congratulations to you. Honda dealership here, 50 plus years. And Perry, congratulations to you as well at Carolina BG for all the great work that you're doing out in the field. And Sarah, it's great to see not only the best dealers around the country, but the best BG distributors as well, offering all the services and products they do at the dealer level.
It's incredible to see how Perry and Rich have been working together and bringing that local support to their customers and dealers.
Everybody, we're here at AppleTree Honda and Acura. We're in Asheville, North Carolina. Don't go away. We will be right back.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Ings. We're at AppleTree Honda and Acura in Asheville, North Carolina. Ted, we're getting ready to talk about advancing from within.
That's right, Sarah. We have the service leaders here at the dealership group. Gentlemen, if you would, give us your name and tell us what you do here at AppleTree.
My name is Jack Soto. I'm the Acura service manager. Been here for really 2 years now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Rich Lupo, I'm the service director for AppleTree Automotive, Acura and Honda.
And I'm James Mills, service manager for Honda.
Well, Jack, I want to start with you. So you've had quite the path from being born in Jerusalem to serving now as service manager here in Asheville, North Carolina. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey and ultimately what caused you to make North Carolina your home?
I've started my life in Germany. That's what I've studied, and I've been in automotive since then. From there, I've been between Germany and the UK. That's where I spent most of my life, maybe like 20 odd years. From there, I was actually headhunted to go and work in Abu Dhabi and Dubai, where I was there for like nearly 12 years. Worked with Mercedes dealerships mainly, and there. And for a while, I've worked with the Army on our contract vehicles. But when everything finished with Afghanistan, I've moved over to the UK. Me and Rich, we worked on 2014, I believe.
Yeah,
together.
Yeah, we've been
Yeah.
about 10 years ago we met.
We always stayed in touch. And he said to me, we've got dealership here at Asheville, and there I am 2 years later. So glad to be here.
Jack, you don't look old enough to have this global career in the automotive industry.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
Welcome. Rich, I got to ask you, you and Jack have worked together for a while. Tell us a little bit about Jack, what you saw in him, and really how this journey got started.
Jack was returning from Dubai and walked into the dealership I was at one evening and gave me the high points of his resume, and I hired him on the spot. Told him, yeah, be back in the morning. Don't talk to anybody else. And we struck up a friendship, and we've been on and off over the last 10 years working together. And as my career has advanced, Jack has certainly advanced as well. And
That's for sure.
Yeah, went from our top service consultant to lane manager to now serving as the Acura service manager here for Appletree.
And why is having someone like Jack, with his deep experience in automotive retail all over the globe, important to the career path of someone here at Appletree?
Well, Acura is a luxury brand, and with his experience, both internationally and with some of the luxury imports, he brings the high touch that our customers have come to expect as an Acura customer and that of Appletree. So, and additionally, he understands the culture that we've worked together long enough, and that was key getting started for me as having somebody that understood the culture that we were trying to affect as we came into the management here at Appletree a few years ago. So,
Well, James, you're definitely an example as well of the advancing from within opportunities that have been here at Appletree Honda. So how important is culture in part of this advancement path? And can you tell us a little bit about your own journey?
Sure. So my journey started here almost 12 years ago. I started as a porter down actually in Acura, and I was a porter for about 2 years, I believe, doing portering, shuttling, filling up cars with gas, doing all the fun stuff, trash and all that. And after 2 years, I got an opportunity to become an accelerated service advisor. So I did that for about another 2 years, and a spot opened up to become an actual service advisor doing main shop work. And from there, I did that for another 7 years, 6 years, I think, and then got the opportunity to become the service manager at Acura. So I started there, did that for a year, and then I was moved up to Honda, and I've been with Honda as the service manager up here for almost 2 years as well now.
And James, Honda is known for having a very fast pace.
Absolutely. Yeah. Lots of steps in my day. Yes.
Well, talk to us about that, okay, and the fact that you've risen to the ranks of where you are today. How important is it that other dealership employees see that and know that that's potentially available to them as well?
Oh, I think it's very important. We start our careers in one spot, and we don't want to necessarily always stay there. So it's very important to know that there's opportunity for growth. And, with the fast pace of Honda, with the changes coming in the future, it's very good to be able to start where you're at and be able to move within. And it's good for our people as well. I get a lot of guys who ask me, like, did you really start washing cars? You're so knowledgeable. I say, well, yeah, I did. But, I stuck around, I learned, I listened, and I had some good people here to help me learn.
Richard, talk to us about that career path as well, and why is that so important at our dealership level?
Well, first of all, I want to say that I couldn't be any more proud to work with James every day. And we work together every day. And his accomplishments and his advancement through Appletree is just as much the culture at Appletree as it is his hard work and dedication that he brings. So I want to say, that what you do is not underappreciated.
Thank you.
And everything that you've accomplished here. So, and I was happy to bring you from Acura. I know that was your baby for a lot of years.
It was. It was a hard move.
He had some separation stuff when we pulled him from Acura because he'd been there his whole career here with Appletree and brought him up to Honda. So, but I thank you for everything that you do. It's there's a lot less time for a jacket as you're the service manager at Honda. So, but thank you. So, and he is an example that we use with everyone that comes into our organization. And we can take a look at the guy that they're going to be working for, the service manager, and say, hey, this guy here started washing cars. And if you want to hang in here, it's a great place. They treat you fair. And, such a great reputation that I moved my family here a couple of years ago to come work here, and met great people like James, and he's an example we use as, when we hire.
So, gentlemen, fixed operations, the landscape is changing. It's always changing. You and I are seeing that constantly happening out there. And your dealership group is expanding. Mobile service, as an example, in our industry is picking up steam. EVs are coming and changing the landscape. What is that going to mean for the staff here? Jack, let me start with you on that question, because you've seen this on a global level as well. What's that going to mean here locally with all the things that are currently happening and rapidly changing?
Yes. Well, again, this is part of what we do and preparing for. Correctly, like you said, the EV cars, which we, especially like at Acura, we're going to be getting this year. We already started establishing their equipment for them, the advertisements in place. Acura, of course, is doing that in the back scene. So all that prep between three of us to make that an easy transaction and to accommodate all this new business for the EV vehicles, of course.
Sure. Maybe James, your thoughts on that as well?
On the changes coming, I think they're great. I think automotive has seen a lot of changes in years past, and this is the next change, and we're excited for it. Like Jack said, we've got the equipment, we're working the infrastructure out. We've recently expanded to allow more bays for our service department to be able to plan ahead, and yeah, we're really looking forward to the next couple of years.
I've seen some of those early Honda EVs that are out of the marketplace with a lot of miles coming in, and those customers take care of them. So, Honda customers are not, unknowledgeable when it comes to the EV market.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your thoughts on the future?
Unprecedented disruption in our industry right now. I mean, it's 100-year events coming on right now. And so along with the physical infrastructure, the lifts and the chargers that we're ramping up and all that stuff is on order or already here. We're going to be receiving the ZDX, the Acura ZDX and the Honda Prologue over the next 2, 3, 4 months. We'll be seeing the first of those. I think the Acura comes first and then the ZDX comes first quarter next year. So our technicians are being trained, and it's an opportunity when we're talking about career path, is we're bringing in these younger guys and girls that are coming in as washing cars, parking cars, entry-level technicians. We talk to them and say, the next generation of cars are not going to be internal combustion engines, or we're not going to be putting spark plugs and changing oil. We're going to need the next generation of technicians to work on EVs, hydrogen, and all the alternative propulsion systems, drivetrains that are going to be included in this next generation. And so when we talk about advancement, there's going to be huge opportunities for advancement on the technician side, and also I believe with self-driving cars, the cars are going to come in for service at different times. We're going to need to be open different hours. I mean, there's
going to be a different pool, that's for sure.
Yes, 100%. It's a lot of disruption coming, and we're up for the challenge and ready and look forward to it.
Exciting time in our industry, everybody. We're here with the service leaders at Appletree Honda and Acura. We're in Asheville, North Carolina. Sarah and I will be right back with a whole lot more on the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Ings. We're at Appletree Honda and Acura in Asheville, North Carolina. Ted, we have another wonderful guest on the segment today.
That's right. And, you know, from what you and I are seeing and hearing on the Fixed Ops Roundtable, Sarah, the phones continue to be at the top of the list. Great honor to welcome our next guest. If you would, Scott, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Scott Blaisdell. I'm the head of product with Call Review.
So great honor to have Call Review with us today, Sarah.
Well, and Scott, so this Call Review just released a new product that is changing the game of fixed operations and how they manage their phone calls. Can you share a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be happy to. So the product is called Service Vision Pro, and it's a brand new product based on Call Review's award-winning call monitoring platform. What's different about this product is it really leverages what we call superhuman AI technology that analyzes fixed ops phone calls to a degree that we've never been able to do before. We can dive into and extract rich insights out of every single phone call to help dealers really understand what's going on in those phone calls and whether customers are being handled appropriately, whether opportunities are being missed, etc., and then obviously alert them if there's a problem on any given phone call. This really takes away the burden of dealers having to listen to phone calls and to review things, even read transcripts or even read a summary of a phone call. We'll handle all of it. We use this rich intelligence to really bubble up the things that they need to know about most.
You know, Scott, it's amazing how many calls come in every day to dealerships on the service side, okay? So at Call Review, you've got a tremendous reach around the United States with your dealer clients. Let's drill down a little bit more. What makes Service Vision Pro different than some of the things that are out there in the market today?
Well, as I mentioned, it's our superhuman AI technology, which is pretty cool stuff. But you mentioned the number of calls, and that's actually one of the key ingredients that made our AI technology so robust. Currently today, we track about 11 million phone calls across the nation every month. Now, not all of those are service calls, but the majority are. And we use that volume of calls, and we've analyzed those calls, and we use that to train our AI systems. And that's what allows it to be able to be so smart, understanding what happens on those calls in fixed ops departments at dealerships, because all we service is automotive dealerships. All those calls are for dealerships themselves.
I'm just thinking about all the different phone calls that come into a service department, from general questions to appointment calls to status updates. Can you talk to us a little bit about the AI and this superhuman technology? So how is this really going to impact service calls?
Yeah, so it's actually going to be game-changing for them because of the volume of calls that we've been able to analyze and the intelligence we're able to build using AI technology. We can really understand the actual intent of why a caller is calling, and are they just calling for a status check, which is an important thing to know about, right, in service. Are they just asking for directions? Is it an F&I question, what have you? We understand now what those are. We can properly classify each one of those phone calls. But we can also then show over time the number of status check calls that a customer, or that a service department rather, is getting. Is that decreasing? It should be, if you identify why customers are calling and asking for a status check, and then training your service advisors to be more proactive in reaching out to communicating with the customer so that they're not wondering what's up with my car. So you can definitely track that over time, and that's definitely a way to enhance customer service inside the fixed ops departments.
So Scott, you mentioned Call Review, 11 million calls a month coming in. So what you're basically saying is that with these 11 million calls, you're getting smarter every month based on what's happening currently out there in the marketplace. This is amazing what's happening. We're hearing a lot about AI on the Fixed Ops Roundtable, but really you're using this to a great advantage for the dealer.
Absolutely, and we are continually learning. We're continually tracking more calls all the time, and our systems are automatically getting smarter. It's called machine learning. It's a real thing. And our machines are learning and figuring out exactly what's going on in these calls, and we're able to get richer and deeper insights, get smarter about which calls we bring to the attention of management at the dealership to let them know, hey, you need to take a look at this call. There's, a customer sat issue. And those those alerts that we bring to management is having a direct impact on CSI scores. So it's very meaningful for the dealers.
That's huge. So these alerts, is this happening in real time, or how does the dealership access that?
Yeah, so we deliver alerts in seconds, no longer in minutes. We can do it via email or a text message. And so literally within seconds of a call ending, we've analyzed that call. If there's something that needs attention, we notify management, and management can take appropriate action. We tell them exactly what happened on the call and what we are telling them, hey, you need to look at this call for. Was it a CSI issue? Was it a customer opportunity or a sale opportunity miss? And then allowing them to take the appropriate action, whether it's to talk to the employee or maybe reach back out to the customer before that customer calls the next dealership across town.
Wow. So you've been doing this for a while, I understand, on the sales side, okay, with great success. And now you brought it over to the fixed ops side, if you will, the service. What can fixed ops management expect, as this is being rolled out now by Call Review?
So I think the biggest thing is the volume of calls into fixed ops we estimate between 70 and 75% of the total call volume in a dealership. That's a lot of calls, right? Fixed ops management doesn't have the time to actually take a look at and analyze, do any analysis or listen to calls. I've actually talked to a few service directors that spend hours a day listening to phone calls to make sure that their guys are doing the right thing on the call and the customers are being handled appropriately. They don't have to do that at all anymore. We will analyze every single call and we'll let them know what needs their attention and what doesn't. So that's the biggest impact it's going to have. It's going to give them hours a day back, potentially.
Sarah, I've almost got to ask you this question as you being a subject matter expert on this topic, okay? How important is a tool like this at the retail level?
Well, this is really cool because if you think about it from the perspective of a dealer, if a dealer is fortunate enough to have a business development department that is really, really looking at this kind of data, it's all post data. They're measuring things after the fact and after it's long happened, oftentimes, days after it's happened before they can reconcile some of the reporting and look at some of these trends. So Scott, what you're describing in having something that's real time that you can analyze and really see what's going on with your customers, that's super huge for a dealer to be able to make those adjustments because it impacts everything from scheduling to how you're efficient in your shop. It just cascades over the entire customer experience.
It does. Being reactive in the here and now is super, super important for customer satisfaction. Absolutely.
Well, Scott, and I'm going to put my BDC manager hat on for a second. Okay. So, all of this sounds incredible, but there's a lot of data that you're describing that Call Review is analyzing for a service department. And as you mentioned, those types of phone calls can be so different compared to the sales department. So can dealership management really expect to be able to use the insights from these phone calls to improve the customer service and CSI scores for the store after the call is over?
Yeah, they can, and it's actually mainly because of the number of insights we're looking for out of every conversation. You're right. Whether it's F&I or service, parts, body shop, what have you, the conversations are dramatically different. And that's why we had to build such a rich and intelligent AI system that can look for all of the different variables across all of those different types of phone calls. So our system looks at, right now, over 55 different elements of a phone call to see, did this happen, did that happen? We're able to sort of dig down and get to the depths of what happened on the phone call. What was discussed? Was a recall mentioned, or was pricing discussed, or whatever. There's a ton of things, including things like, was somebody calling in for a repair on their brakes or a windshield replacement, tire rotation? What was it that they were calling about? All of these things give rich insights in the here and now so that we can make intelligent decisions about what needs to be taken action on, whether it's to follow up with the customer to make sure they have the right information, or if the call ended poorly, kind of resurrecting that call to make sure that the customer is taken care of well and got their questions answered. All of that stuff can be done in near real time. It doesn't have to be done after the fact because it's all done so quickly via the AI tech that we've built.
So Scott, to bring it home, When can dealers expect this? I know Call Review, you've had a lot of dealers come on the Fixed Ops Roundtable and share their best practices and results with Call Review. When can your existing dealers expect this? And then how can somebody who, let's say, is not using Call Review yet reach out and get more information?
Great question. So what I've described today, what we talked about today, is available today. So customers can see it, touch it, we can get it implemented in a matter of days at their dealership and start taking advantage of all of this new technology and new capabilities today. The easiest way is to reach us out by email. Everybody's got email. Nobody will remember a phone number, so it's just sales@callreview.com. That's CALLREVU.com. And one of our guys will reach out to you and set up a demo. We can do it today.
Well, Scott, on behalf of the Fixed Ops Roundtable, congratulations to you and Call Review for all that you're doing for the industry.
Thank you.
And great success as we move forward. So, big news.
Thank you very much, Ted. It was a pleasure being here.
Everybody, we're here at Appletree Honda and Acura. We're in Asheville, North Carolina. We're at the Fixed Ops Roundtable with Scott Blaisdell from Call Review, and we will be right back.
Hi, I'm Darren Gressiff, President and CEO of BG Products. For 50 years, BG has led the industry with innovative solutions to automotive challenges. But it takes more than great chemistry to be the industry leader. Our integrity, dedication, and investment in people are at the heart of our continued success. BG maintains the highest standards for quality assurance, environmental management, laboratory competency, and health and safety management through our ongoing certification with ISO. Our BG Proving Ground experts are dedicated to field support and advanced automotive testing. The facility includes 9 full-service automotive bays and 3 dynos, which provide real-time data. This comprehensive testing fuels our constant drive toward innovation. From service and parts managers to service advisors and shop technicians, BG is committed to the ongoing training of automotive professionals. Award-winning digital training solutions like BG Certified, the BG Tech app, and the BG Advisor app are available 24/7 in the palm of your hand. BG reps get first-hand experience through our internal training program called BG University at our headquarters in Wichita, Kansas. These reps in turn provide comprehensive training to your staff in person right on your service ground. 30 miles away, sitting on 40 acres in El Dorado, Kansas, are BG's manufacturing facility, distribution center, and tools and parts warehouse. BG's custom-built, one-of-a-kind manufacturing facility spans the distance of 3 football fields and is where high-quality BG products are manufactured and packaged. Just south of Wichita, in Derby, Kansas, our BG Automation Division and Certified Machine Shop manufacture the BG tools and equipment that are a crucial part of each BG service. BG doesn't stop in Kansas. Our BG distributor network spans the globe and is supported by a hard-working corporate team in the Midwest. With award-winning training, unbeatable customer retention programs, and accessible local BG reps, we ensure that BG distributors have everything they need to support you. BG is your partner beyond progress.
Hey, Rich.
Oh, hi, Sarah.
Hey, I've been walking around the dealership all day today, but this has been really cool to see. I have heard so much about something I wanted to ask you about.
Okay.
What is ReconTrack?
It's probably, it's a great tool. It's really part of what we do here, and it's really helped us, but it's probably easier to show you the implications of what's happened when we institute it than to really talk about it. So if you have a few minutes, I'll take you along and show you what happens.
Sure, absolutely.
All right, follow me. We're gonna go in here and say hi to Jody real quick. Hey, Gary.
Hey.
Jody, this is Sarah. She's joining us today, and we were just talking about ReconTrack. And if you could tell us just a little bit about how it helps you keep track of what you do. So Jody's been with us for a long time here at Appletree, longtime sales manager.
Sure, the ReconTrack is part of the everyday process. It just lets us know what's going on at each step of the way. Just helps us save time, makes things a lot more efficient.
So now, what are you specifically looking at here when you're tracking some of the pieces in ReconTrack?
you're kind of just looking at where it's where it's going along the process, how long it's been at a certain stage, and then kind of what the estimated finish time is. So that way, if you've got a customer that's excited about getting their car, you give them an idea of when the car will be ready. So it just helps us know how quickly we can help them move forward.
It keeps everyone on the same page, and that's one of the great parts of recontract. So on to the next, I'll show you.
It's amazing to see how much you're actually tracking between sales and service. So is it fairly automated or is it a pretty manual process?
Well, actually, Sarah, one of the things that makes recontract work is it's so automated. And as we move things through the system, it does a lot of the work for us. So here's our next stop. We're gonna go meet one of our reconditioning technicians that helps us get our trade-ins and purchase cars ready for retail.
Awesome, that sounds great.
Hi, Galen.
Hey, Rich, good to see you.
We got Sarah with us.
Hi, Sarah.
Hey, Galen, how are you today?
I'm doing well. I hope you are.
Yes, excellent.
So, Galen, walking Sarah around, and we're talking to her today about recontract.
Okay.
And I know that it's a big part of what you do as one of our reconditioning team members. So, anyway, if you could tell Sarah about how it is a part of what you do in this process. And Sarah probably has some questions for you.
Okay. I basically use the recontract to go over each individual part of the vehicle to fail or you deem it worthy of being on the car. Right now I'm doing the engine area check. I was just checking the engine oil. The next thing I would do is do the brake fluid and then check power steering fluids and say they're either up to snuff or not.
So being able to be efficient with a system like this, that's really powerful.
Yeah, when he marks that, if he marks something in red, it goes right to our parts department, goes right to the advisor, and they know as soon as he finishes up that inspection, everyone in the system knows that he's finished that part of the process. All right, well, Sarah, let's go meet Jack, and we'll see the next part of the process, okay?
Great to see you, Galen.
Thanks, Galen. Good morning, sir.
How are you?
Good. This is Sarah.
Jack, how are you today?
How are you today?
I'm excellent.
Good. Beautiful weather.
It is. Good to be in Carolina, right?
Yeah, it is indeed.
Yeah. So, anyway, Sarah is with us today, and we're talking to her about how recontract is a part of our process. And this guy, along with our recon team, lives it every day. So he's an authority on it, and he's actually here on his cell phone, on his mobile phone, on the app, actually checking in some recent trade-ins. So Jack, can you tell us about what you're doing right now?
Sure, absolutely. So Party was here where we bring all our tradings from day one as soon as we take them in. We do put them through what we call a recon track system. And we start tracking the car from day one, where it is, what stage is it at. One, it's prevent from any delays for getting the cars ready, cleaned up, and put in the front lot. And it's just a follow-up between me, the technicians, and the salespeople. Everybody does have this on their street, so at any time anybody can go in and look and see where each vehicle is at what stage. So the turnaround, what we're trying to do now between taking the car in and make it ready for the front lot, it's 2 days. That is what we're trying to accomplish. Recontract made this very, very easy. Like I said, it delays it sort of prevent any delays, and like I said, we can see the cars at where they are at every stage.
That's incredible.
Recontract has a part where we can coordinate with vendors that'll get the paint and the body work done. And so if, for instance, if we stall out, if we were to need a part that's not going to be here for 3 or 4 days, we can take this car and send it over to one of our vendors to get the paint done or whatever. And then when that vendor is done, it snaps right back to waiting for the part to come in so we don't lose our place in the process. Mm-hmm. So all of those things make it just a comprehensive tool. Jack's out here in the parking lot. You do not have to be on property for this, though.
Nope.
You can be
I can be at home sometimes.
Wonderfully, you can be at the house and track recon for you.
Where are we going next, Rich?
Well, we're going to make one more stop, and we're going to meet Crafton. He's one of the co-owners of Apple Tree. Grafton, you met Sarah earlier.
Hi, Crafton. How are you?
Absolutely. How you doing?
Excellent.
So Crafton, we've been touring the store and been all over the campus, talking with people about the recon process and how recontract with Reynolds helps us. And I know it's been a big help to you. And so we were going to talk about that just for a moment if you do. I know you're a busy guy, so I can see Recon's front and center on your desk right now.
Actually got it up right now. This has been a huge improvement from before. Basically, we were doing a spreadsheet that we had to keep up to date. I'd have to print it out, go around to the different departments, make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing, manually. And that's obviously been improved since this. So it automates everything. So as soon as I input a key, we have these 2 keys get ready to put in. So I put it in, it automatically alerts Rich, Jack, and those that need to do the next step, get it in an RO created, and to the mechanics, have to do their inspection, on down the line. It's all the way through detail and back up to the front line. So yeah, it's definitely something we like using.
Well, Crafton, I'm sure you're the co-owner of Apple Tree Honda and Acura. You're a very, very busy person. So how do you use the system to hold people accountable?
So, and then again, that's the key part, is the automation for it. So, before, where I was having to physically go check on, everybody and make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, now it does it automatically for me. So, so that really helps out a lot. And plus the integration with Reynolds and Reynolds, as soon as the car is traded, it automatically populates it in here instead of me having to populate each car as we get them. So, I immediately put it in the key machine, and then it's taken care of from there with each person. And there's accountability for that. So if somebody's holding up, like right now, I can see, 20 cars waiting on detail. So where's our bottleneck? So we got to go talk to them and make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. But, my mechanics and everybody are on top of it right now. Everything's looking good. But again, it helps me know where the bottlenecks are and help keep moving things along.
Crafton, this has been very informative, and I appreciate you taking the time to share a little bit more about Recontract today.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, Rich, it has been really cool to see all the different pieces of Recontract, and especially in today's market with so many used cars coming through the process. I'm sure that helps create a lot of efficiencies for getting these vehicles online and to your customers as quickly as possible.
It covers everything on the entire campus. Doesn't matter which building, where you are, what department you're in. It doesn't matter if you're at your desk, if you've got a phone, if you've got a tablet, all of those things. At any point, anybody involved with any relevancy to our process can see exactly where a car is in the process. And when we look at that, we identify bottlenecks, we improve efficiency, we get our vendors involved, and we get our cars to market faster. And the faster they get to market, the better it is for everyone. So it is a very, very helpful tool to us. It has shaved a lot of time off of our process, and that helps turn inventory, keep the inventory fresh, give the guys new stuff to sell all the time, and helps Apple Tree stay in business. So I thought it was more effective to take you around and show you just how it crosses all of the lines and all the barriers. And so I'm glad you came along, and thank you so much for today.
Yes, Rich, this has been incredible. And thank you again for showing me all the different pieces that Recontract can do to improve your overall business.
It's my pleasure.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here at Appletree Honda and Acura with some amazing women in automotive. First off, I just love to thank you all for being here today as in part of the event for the Fixed Ops Roundtable in Asheville, North Carolina. First off, I want to ask this question but before I do that, I would like to have all of y'all introduce yourselves and just say what your role is here with the organization. Shayla, I'll start with you.
My name is Shayla, and I am currently a technician in training.
Hey, my name is Kasai, and I am currently a BDC sales consultant.
My name is Brenda, and I'm a service advisor here.
Excellent. Well, Shayla, it sounds like from our conversation a few minutes ago that you really like it here at Appletree Honda. And this is not your first job in the industry. So what helped you make the decision to stay part of this organization?
So initially, when I went into the automotive field, my goal was to end up here. I've been a Honda fan for the whole time. All my cars have been Honda, so this was kind of my goal. And then when I got here and started working, it was very family oriented and overall had a very good environment. And I realized soon after being here that it was going to give me plenty of time to grow and plenty of room to grow, so I would be able to obtain bigger goals than what I could where I was before. And I like that it gave me plenty of opportunity and plenty of time to achieve that opportunities.
Well, and tell us a little bit more about the path that you took to get to this point in your career. So what has it taken in your life to get to this point?
So being a female and entering this field is very scary. And at first it started with me learning how to do things on my own car. Then I went to school for it and got an associate's degree in it and started off with just a click loop place. And I was like, okay, well, let's do more. I want bigger goals. I want to change the motors and stuff. It just was a curious aspect of I want to know what's going on under the hood that led me to become more interested and want to achieve what everybody else around me was achieving, even though the gender was different.
Well, Shayla, it's incredible that you say that because across the industry as a whole, women only make up about 19% of the total retail automotive side of our industry. So having women like you all on this panel being part of the industry, it's so important. And Kasaya, you're in a similar boat. So you've had what many would consider a classic career advancement through the dealership. Starting with washing cars and starting there. Could you tell us a little bit about how you got started in the business?
So I was coming out of college. I went to school to be an esthetician, believe it or not, and that was just not my path. It didn't work out for me. And I've always been very interested into vehicles. And I'm from Fletcher. I'm born and raised here, so it's a local community, and I'm familiar with the dealership even before I began working here. But starting off as a porter, I would like to say, it was very nice just to, what's the best way about it? Truthfully, I think the best thing I got from it was getting to see all of the different cars that would come through the car wash. Getting to drive a Type R when I normally probably wouldn't be able to do that on a normal day basis. I get to see all these really cool cars. And that just kind of led into me thinking, what if I was an advisor and, I was able to actually work on these cars and learn more about them, not necessarily doing the hands-on work, but getting more knowledgeable with the car field themselves. And, once you get a certain job like that, you can kind of take that information you learn and place it pretty much everywhere, which is kind of what I did in a way. As I went from being a porter, and from there I was a service scheduling coordinator for Honda primarily is where I started. And with that's when I did start to learn the codes and everything would pop up. Somebody calls me, I have a B1. Okay, you need to come in, you need to get your oil changed, and you need to get your tires rotated. Any other day I would not have known that. That would have never been like a B1, what is that? But from there, I actually took a lead and went down to Acura, and I did kind of a flex role. I was still doing service coordination, but I also was doing reception for the sales side. So that's kind of how I started integrating into the sales world and starting to see, that is something that I would take interest in. And I was just the opportunities that you get here. It's kind of like Shayla said, it's like family oriented. Like in the way, like when you tell somebody from high school, I don't know what I want to do, it's kind of like that. Like you give yourself a break, and there's different options for you here. There's an option for pretty much everybody.
That's incredible, Kasai. And it sounds like having this path that you forged going through all these different departments, it's also given you an appreciation for the entire dealership and all of the important roles that are involved in helping to serve the customer. Brenda, so you came to Apple Tree as an experienced service advisor, and you, from what I understand, are one of the top service advisors here in this company, and you're the #1 service advisor actually at Apple Tree. So looking at your career, what sort of advice do you have for women like Shayla and Kasaya as they consider the future and the opportunities?
I think more females need to get involved. I think for me, it's exciting, it's fulfilling. Talk to Shayla and impressed with her story of how she's got involved with service, and Kasaya, that it's just a wonderful field really to be in. You win the clients' respect when you apply yourself, you can get the knowledge to be able to earn their trust, and it means a lot to hear them only want you to handle their stuff. Even sometimes it gets overwhelming, but you got to give them the time, because they're why I'm here. So but I think it's exciting for all women. They should be at least give it a shot.
Well, and I think it's a testament to, the Apple Tree organization. So looking at the three of y'all are building relationships across all these different departments that intersect really all of the customer experience, and you're able to make a meaningful career and livelihood for yourselves, and really have all these opportunities that, as an industry, a lot of people, and especially the women watching, may not be aware of. They may not be aware that they have these opportunities to get involved and follow in your footsteps. So I want to ask all of y'all a question, and just take a moment to think about, the future into 2024. So in this next year, and I'll start with you, Shayla. So what are you most excited about and looking forward to?
I think I'm most excited and looking forward to the most this next year is actually delving more into like hands-on, getting bigger jobs, getting harder jobs on the cars, so that way I can continue to learn and continue to grow. And I've already discovered that it's always going to be, there's something new to learn, and I like that aspect of it. So like, especially going into this next year where I'm just barely into my training now, I plan on conquering a lot more and delving much deeper and getting more information and bigger jobs to do.
That's so exciting, Shayla. And the cars, how technical they are, and getting all of the latest and greatest technology. I'm sure it's a ton of information to learn and retain, but congratulations on all that you've accomplished so far. And Kasaya, so what are you looking forward to in this next year?
I'm looking forward to always outdoing myself, I'm looking forward to my own personal growth. I might end up going on fully to sales if I'm comfortable with doing so. So that's something I am looking forward to and working towards next year.
Excellent. Brenda, what about you? What are you looking forward to in the next coming year?
Hopefully being able to keep doing what I'm doing and maintain without going crazy. But yeah, I'm just glad to be here.
Well, all of you are such incredible, talented individuals, and it's even more special to get to show a spotlight on you as women in the automotive industry. On behalf of Ted Ings and the Fixed Ops Roundtable, I'm Sarah Vantine. We're here at Apple Tree Honda and Acura in Asheville, North Carolina at the Fixed Ops Roundtable pop-up event. Stay tuned for more segments. We'll be right back.
Love.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Ings. We're at Appletree Honda and Acura here in Asheville, North Carolina. Ted, we're going to be talking about advanced service. What can we expect on this panel?
Well, we've brought together a great representation of the service leaders here at Appletree. So everybody, if you would, starting with James, give us your first and last name and what you do here at the organization.
James Mills, the Honda Service Manager for Appletree.
Mo Metcalf, Technician for Appletree.
My name is Joseph Gutierrez, and I'm one of the service advisors here at Appletree Honda.
Rich Lupo, Service Director for Appletree Automotive.
Well, to kick it off, let's talk about advanced service and efficiency. So efficiency has to happen on the service lane. Customers are waiting, vehicles are stacking up. That impacts the shop. That impacts everything. Rich, I understand that you have a great analogy that starts with making sure technicians have the right jobs. Can you describe what this is?
We use rentals as an intricate part of our dispatching system, and through the electronic dispatching, our technicians are skill coded. The jobs that the repair orders, the service consultants put on the repair orders are skill coded so that they find the right technician that's qualified to do that work. There's a series of priorities given to each repair order. So if they're waiting, dropped off, things like that. So through that formula, the right car finds the right technician at the right time.
You know, gentlemen, I know you've all been in the industry for a while. Have any of you ever worked in a shop where the dispatching was done manually? And if you could tell us a little bit about what that was like.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you, it was an absolute disaster. And I mean, not to, call out a specific dealership's names, but the way they had it set up just did not make sense. The electronic dispatch that we have here is the way to go. And I am a big fan of Reynolds and Reynolds, and the way it's set up in our system, it's very efficient and precise on what technicians get jobs and things like that. So I can't recall a time that I liked a manual dispatch, to be honest with you.
Well, talk to us a little bit about from a technician's perspective, from your point of view.
I mean, it's nice. I mean, you come to work basically and you log in and you get a job and you go to work. You don't have to wait on somebody else to say, well, I want you to do this, I want you to do that. You literally just go get your next job and keep moving.
And how important is that savings in time in what you do on a daily basis?
It's very important because, I mean, we don't get paid by the hour, we get paid by the job. So the faster I can go, the faster I can keep moving. We get the customers taken care of, and the end results get them out the door faster.
Sure. And James, you got a busy shop here at Honda. How important is that electronic capability that you've got?
I think it's very important. For a short period of time, we tried manual dispatching, and it did not work. Someone gets too much work, someone gets too much little. So now the flow works so much better by using electronic dispatching because, like Bo said, you can go from one job to the next. There is no waiting to see. It's, this priority, this person is here waiting. They need their car as soon as possible. The next priority would be someone that's on a shuttle. We know we need to get them done so we can pick them up in a timely manner while either they're at home or getting finished up with work. And then you have the drop-offs. If they're not here, we know we can get to them here in a little while, and the tech just can move through that process so much better.
Well, Ted, I know that with this manual, with preventing that manual dispatch piece, that saves a lot of customer time too. That saves so much efficiency in the shop and in the customer experience, so you don't get these bottlenecks throughout the day. Joe and Bo, I want to ask y'all this. So you use advanced service tech dispatching. How, in your opinion, has this helped the service lane overall? Bo, I'll kick it to you first.
When you have an individual dispatching, they have so much more to keep up with, whereas the computer, the second an advisor enters it into the system, it's boom, it's right on to the next one. So it just takes the failing of a person out of it, basically. So, I mean, it just moves the system right along.
But John, and in your experience, how would you say it has helped the service lane?
So in my position, it helps us tremendously because it allows us to keep up with what jobs are next in the queue, and so in turn helps us keep our clients updated that much more efficiently and accurately too. Helps us give pretty good promise times and realistic time frames on what we're doing.
And Rich, if I could follow up from your perspective as the service director, what has that done, for your time during the course of the day having this available?
Electronic dispatching it reaches so many different areas. As soon as the repair order is ready, it goes right into queue. It's available for a technician. So it brings up that efficiency. It just ramps it way up. It keeps advisors at their desk. When you get a manual dispatch system, inevitably you're going to have service advisors walking around the shop, shopping tickets to technicians, going, hey, can you get this? Can you get that? Trying to maneuver around the system because it's manual. You take the subjectivity of humans out of dispatching, favoritism, things like that. That's actually one of the things that we, when we do any recruiting, one of the things that we talk about with a prospective technician is that it is a impartial dispatching system, that there'll be nobody that's going to show any favoritism to anyone in the shop, and you'll get your fair shot of you go up to your computer screen, your terminal, and you hit the locate button, you're going to be dispatched the next shop, or the next job. And so it takes so many things out of the day that we just don't have to worry about. It keeps advisors at their desk, keeps technicians productive, loops in parts, all of those things. And it gives us a centralized screen. So from no matter where I am, if I'm at the Acura building, the pre-owned building, here at Honda, anywhere, James, Joe, myself, we can pull up a dispatching screen. It's all there for us. It's all moving. We can see, Joe can tell a customer you're third in line. You'll usually, we've got 20 technicians and you're 3 from coming in. Should be in any time. Realistic wait times, all of those things are at our fingertips. So it reaches so many different areas of the store, and it's integral to what we do. I don't think that we could do it a different way at this point.
James, if I can, I'm sorry. I want to ask you a little bit in our time left about Reynolds Service Price Guide, because I know that you use that here at the dealership. How big of a boom has that been?
It's been amazing. You can go straight in and you can find out your labor times, your parts times. It works out the tax. It works out if there's GOG or not. And it's all at your fingertips. About 90% of the jobs that we do are all in the service price guide. So from the moment the client calls in or we write up a repair order, we know what that job is going to take. And so for these advisors, for Joe and for our technicians who utilize it as well, they know exactly what they're going to be paid, what they're going to be charging our customers. And I think it's the best thing.
And Sarah, I would imagine from the perspective of a customer, convenience, calling in to get information, that would be a great advantage a dealership would have, having the Reynolds Service Price Guide as well.
Oh, absolutely. Just being able to provide a quote that's accurate every single time that customer can get an out the door price quote for whatever services that you want to add to it. If it's oil changes, tires, brakes, having an out the door quote that includes taxes and fees and everything, that just aids in that transparency conversation with the customer and helps build the validity of the services that you're providing and aiding the service advisor in building that relationship. Well, Rich, it really sounds like Reynolds has provided you with some really, really good tools to help you reach your goals. So can you share a little bit more about the ROI on that? So on the ROI that you're seeing with Service Pricing Guide and with this dispatching, how have the Reynolds tools really helped you manage multiple rooftops?
Several things. One of the things that came to mind when we were talking about this is that the technicians use the Service Pricing Guide to give quotes, and they're using the same tool as the service consultant. And one of the things it does is it helps us be more dynamic in our quotes. It cuts down on what we call legacy times. So I've gone and experienced places that are charging times that are not consistent with what we should be charging because we always charged 4 hours to do that job. And actually, when you look at it, that job has become much easier on the newer models, and now it's a 2.2-hour job. But you know, if we don't have that commonality between our different people with our technicians, parts, service consultants, it keeps it takes the variability out of that, keeps everybody on the same page. We've got people that can quote prices, and it's going to be very consistent across the board. So that's one thing that came to mind while we were having this discussion, is pulling legacy times out of the mix and helping us be more nimble for our customers. So that's certainly one thing that I can think of. The other ROI points would be just the increased efficiency brought to the store through technicians not having to walk over to, you know, Joe the dispatcher guy and him whirl through a bunch of repair orders and pick the one that he thinks is for this, you know, all of that stuff. As soon as he locates it, the parts department's aware that he locates it, it just keeps the flow. So efficiency, capacity goes up, all of those things. And we have been able to institute various pricing strategies, and it keeps everyone on board in real time as you implement different pricing strategies with different segments of the business. So it's across the board. It helps keep everyone on the same page and drive a lot of ROI across different segments.
Well, everybody, thank you for being with us today on our panel on Reynolds Advanced Service and Surface Price Guide. Great information, and Sarah, as you said, it really speaks to the transparency that's happening in our industry, not just on the interior, but on the exterior as well. So thank you for everyone for bringing it all together. Everyone, we are in Asheville, North Carolina. We're at Appletree Honda and Acura. We're here at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Ings. We are at Appletree Honda and Acura today in Asheville, North Carolina. Ted, this has been an amazing day today, and just getting to see the community that Appletree Honda and Acura are part of here in Asheville.
You gentlemen have built a great organization. Such an honor to feature your employees and your team here on the Fixed Ops Roundtable. In closing today, for the audience and folks watching within the industry, when they come to Asheville, anything you could recommend that you could point out that they may want to experience?
Sure. Again, you know, Asheville is all about the environment that we're in. You know, the mountains, you got to explore the mountains, the local, you know, all the waterfalls. There's plenty of hiking and biking trails. You also got the huge, you know, brewery scene. And then, you know, some of the more famous, you know, spots that you mentioned.
I was gonna say we got a lot of and Asheville's, we're lucky with having a great food scene here. So if you come to Asheville and you like food, there you can pretty much find what you're looking for here, and it's always good. So, and come and looking at the Biltmore House, I mean, the largest privately owned house in America still. It's something, if you've never seen it, you got to see it once. We're lucky. We get to be like tourists every day. So it's great being in the Asheville area. So.
And in closing, looking forward for Appletree Honda and Acura, what are your plans for the future, if you would?
Well, you know, again, we're celebrating the 50 years. We're very proud of that, and we expect to be here for another 50 years. So, you know, we want to do nothing but more improvements. You know, we want to try to continue to be better at what we do. So, you know, expect to see, some small and refinements over the years, but we're going to try to do our best to be the best customer experience for everybody that walks in the door.
Yeah, exactly right. So.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time today. I'm greatly humbled by it. Sarah and I also want to thank BG Products, the exclusive sponsor for the pop-up events at the Fixed Ops Roundtable, for the opportunity to showcase the best dealers in the nation. Sarah, this has been an amazing day, and I'm also looking forward to the big event that we have coming up in November.
Yes, make sure that you register today, November 13th through the 16th at fixedopsroundtable.com for your complimentary tickets to Automotive Avengers.
Everybody, we'll see you then. On behalf of the Fixed Ops Roundtable and Apple Tree, Honda, and Acura, and BG Products, I'm Ted Ings with Sarah Vantine. Thank you for joining us.